in a way, it leads me to ask this question about how did some of the positive aspects come out of all of this? How did Harry start to do that work?
Harry's story is like anything in life. If you work hard enough, you don't give up, and you're determined, it doesn't matter who you are, you can achieve and get the end result. And Harry proved that, you know. He was a little boy from a council estate that proved that regardless of your age, your wealth, your lifestyle, your well-being, if you care about something so passionately enough, you can achieve it, as long as you don't give up. And Harry didn't. He met a man at the hospital who was inspired by him. He became friends with him, and when he heard that his friend, who was a 55-year-old man, Robert Harley, was very poorly with his brain tumour a couple of years after, when Harry was 9 in 2009, Harry said, "Mum, I've got to do something." Harry at the age of 9 knew enough wasn't being done for people going through cancer, and that is why he decided to start his campaign to help others in his situation, because he didn't want anybody to, he wanted to find a cure to get Robert better, and he didn't want anybody to go through, you know, what we as a family were going through.
Do you think by getting involved in that sense that he actually had, it helped him with his journey? In a sense, he had a kind of mission which he was trying to help others as well.
Absolutely. Harry thrived off it, you know, the more, and obviously as any parent, when your child comes up with an idea, you encourage them, you support them. But sometimes you might not think he's not going to do it to become what he did in the end. We just thought, oh yeah, I'll sell a few bracelets around his friends and around his family, and that'll be it. He'll get bored and he'll move on, and there'll be something else. But obviously we supported him, and he just, as soon as he did that, it was like, right, I need somebody else to sell them to. I know, I'll take them into school. And then he went into school and he went, right, I need every school doing it. I need to go and tell my story in different schools, Mum. So we started going, you know, and he didn't plan for his campaign to be up there when he passed away. He just, with hard work, dedicated, not giving up, coming up with different ideas, he persevered.
Yeah. And was he doing all this work in that maintenance phase I described earlier?
Yes.
Of that 3 years when he was relatively stable?
In 2009, right up until the day he was admitted to hospital in July 2011. And even then he took beads into hospital and he was selling his bracelets on the ward. And for the little kids he was giving them out, but for everybody else he was selling them to the nurses. But other than that, you know, he couldn't do anything. Harry was supposed to do a very big speech that day for another cancer charity when he was in hospital, and because he couldn't do it, he did like a script to apologise and explain why he couldn't be there, because he felt like he was letting people down. And that's the little boy that he was, you know, and yeah, it's just...
It's a kind of confluence of talents, in a sense that he's driven, he's got the experience, he's meeting other people that are affecting him, so he wants to give back. But he's also generous, and he's got a certain talent to see things through. All of those things have to come together in order to make a big difference. And
he did, you know, he did a lot of local things like sitting outside your supermarkets all weekend, you know, and you just think, what, at the time, what 9-year-old, 11-year-old boy would do that, you know? But he loved it. He loved talking to the old people that came up and his regular customers. And he enjoyed company more off adults than he did with children. And I think, again, that cancer journey, the way it matured him, he enjoyed adult company. He was very much an adult head on a little body, really. And, you know, but nothing would faze him, whether it was outside a supermarket or whether, you know, he'd write off. And through the love of Twitter, you know, he got onto Twitter, started just talking to people, and people loved his positivity. He was then doing poems with everybody. And because of that, he got himself in front of the CEO of Virgin Media in London and about 200 members of staff, you know, went in for a board meeting with them after his speech. He blew them all away, and I thought, oh, he's going to need some support here. And I walked into the meeting room with him, and he went, "No, you're all right, Mum. I'm fine, thanks." And left me outside this glass building, you know, peering through, thinking, oh, I hope he's all right, you know, because I look at him and think that's my baby in that chair, and he's lounged back in his little baseball cap and just chatting to the board of directors at Virgin Media, and he loved it, he thrived off it, and I think the innocence of being a child,
of course,
and all that they know through a journey is what helps them through. I think lots of kids that go through that cancer journey are very much Harry. They might not do fundraising like Harry did, but they still have that same outlook.
Yes.
And